Hello everybody, this is Dave the Rave and Gordon the Gopher. Dave the Rave Roving the Rock on Iron Sound Radio and on YouTube as well. And today we're in Lochranza because Gordon and I are going to go for a run from Claonaig to Skipness on the mainland. And the reason we can do this is because Caledonian McBrain has put on a ferry service which is not meant to be running just now. Between Lochranza and Claonaig to help out with MVL of Iron running between Brodick and Ardrossan. So we've basically got an extra choice up here that we don't normally have at this time of year. And we're at the ferry terminal in Lochranza, and I'm looking over the sea to the ferry coming towards us. It's probably only just a third of the way over maybe, so it's about 20 minutes away because it takes half an hour to come over here. And it's a beautiful calm day, mostly blue skies, no wind, no rain, dry. I can hear birds in the background, flat calm on the sea. Looking around me in the queue, there are only 2 cars in front of us, so we're definitely going to get on alright. It takes about 24-25 cars. And we've got the sandwich station across the way there, not open just now. But of course this isn't a scheduled service, so you wouldn't expect it to be. And the village is very quiet indeed. And it's just beautiful. I can see most of Lochranza from here, right across the bay. I can see the castle as well, further down the road. Just have a good look at that, way down there. And out of sight behind that is a distillery, of course. But that's as far as I can see down to where the castle is. So yeah, we're taking advantage of it, and we're just very lucky. Got a great day for it. Go for a wee run, come back again, have some lunch. So we'll just get in, I'll go back in the car here. All that noise getting in the seat, old body.
There's even more getting out of it. I know, I find I'm the same these days. Getting up and down from seats and out of cars.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I just realised to make the noise after I've done it.
And we're supposed to be fit and healthy.
Fit and healthy. ready for running. So we're here because it was my idea to come on the wee boat. And we're going to have a wee look at Skipness. And when was the last time you were at Skipness, Gordon?
Last year.
Last year?
In the summer.
Gosh.
Yeah, went over and a few of us had a wee meal at the fish restaurant.
The fish restaurant, that's right. Now,
which is absolutely wonderful.
Seafood cabin.
If you like fish.
Yeah, the seafood cabin, if you like fish. That's right. Because it sells all locally sourced fish and
langoustines,
mussels,
oysters, or everything.
Yeah. Yep, they've got all sorts there.
I'm not the biggest fish fan, but I like salmon. So
got salmon as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So they've got salmon, so that does me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful situation. Absolutely.
It's incredible, isn't it?
We'll probably have a look at it when we.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about that more.
I know it's closed, obviously.
We'll talk about that more when we get there. So, today is a perfect day for running. No wind or rain or anything. But I had a cold snap lately, didn't we, the last couple of days? Yeah. Some snow as well. I've got a picture of that here. Alright, if you hold that out, Gordon. That was the picture from work yesterday. That was the view, which was Goatfell and all the mountains from the Calmac Brodick car park, where we load the ferry. And it was a beautiful blue sky and just picture postcard perfect with the white snow. It's the first time we've had that snow all winter, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to shelter from hailstones, honestly.
Yeah.
That size.
Yeah.
I was out gardening and had a hailstorm, and honestly they were like something from the film Twister.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
About the, what do you call them?
Yeah.
Tornadoes?
Massive, yeah, like devastating storms, wasn't it?
Absolutely massive. I had to shelter under a house.
Right.
Yeah, really painful if they hit you.
Did you have a hat on?
I did, but still had to shelter. So yeah.
It gets worse as you get older, doesn't it? Because we've got less like padding up at the top anyway.
Some of us.
Well, no, I tell you, like, if you can slap it.
Oh,
it's
there, right.
Yeah,
I thought you meant here.
all right. No, talking about domes. So on the way here, we saw, how many deer would you say on Lochranza Hill?
20 to 30.
Yeah, at least
Altogether?
25. I think so. Quite a few. I'm going to say clumps of deer. No idea if that's herds of deer. Herds.
Clumps of grass, herds of deer.
And that's just the ones we saw driving past with the car. I mean, so we probably missed half of them. There were a lot of deer, weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
And that one in the field, that
There was
stag
one
in the field. That
shouldn't have been there.
How could it have got in the field? But they find a way.
Find a way through the fences.
Find a way.
Because all this area's got like 6 foot high fences. In fact, you've got that in your garden as well, haven't you?
Well, they're about 3 foot high because some of them need
fixed. Do you get deer? Do you get deer in your garden sometimes?
No, I don't. Thank goodness. There's a deer fence right round mine. It does seem to keep them out. Although they could jump our gate, but I don't see much. Deer droppings or plants getting eaten. So they seem to stay out. Whether it's because we've got a dog, I don't know.
Oh right, that's right. You've got the wee dog, haven't you, Teeny?
She would hear them.
Yeah. Heard me coming up today anyway.
Yeah.
So I drove from Whiting Bay and then I came up and picked you up in Sannox. And right enough, just as soon as I went up the drive, wee Teeny was guarding the house, barking away, doing a good job there of looking after you. So when we were driving here, we saw the Chalisters fixing the path at just
North
outside of
Sannox,
Sannox, North Sannox. That's the Charlie and Alistair McAllisters, who are well known in Brodick for helping up the upkeep of the Glen Rosa path, isn't it, and the other paths around there.
What's the surname?
McAllister.
Is it?
Charlie.
No, it's Henry.
Oh no, Henry. Oh, that's Alistair.
Chalister. It's
Charlie and
Charles
Alistair. Henry. Yes, that's right. No, I'm going McAllister. Charlie and Alistair.
You better get that.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Alistair McAllister.
Yeah, they're what, I don't know what age they are, but because we mentioned them before when we out on the run. We met them, didn't we?
Yeah, we came across
and they
them.
must be in their 80s.
Been retired for a long time.
And they go out and do path work.
Yep. So we saw them out doing paths, so well done to them.
Yeah.
And you were doing path work as well recently, weren't you?
Yeah, up Glen Sannox, because it got washed away, a lot of it, in the flood we had, and I thought, I'll go and do it, because I'll probably not get done all year, and it's very stony, and so done a bit of that.
That's alright. So what's been happening lately on the island with you? Has you been busy at the Lochranza? Is there a lot of people?
Well, I've been off all week, so
that's right.
It's been fairly
been
busy.
Yeah.
So I'll be going back just to get sorted for Easter.
Ah, you've been off, that's right.
I did go away one day.
Right.
Well, the plan was one day, but ended up over 3 days.
Oh, because
an
important
appointment, and because the ferry was doubtful, the day it had to go away for the appointment, I went the night before, stayed overnight in a hotel.
And then went off in the afternoon the next day.
I was going to get back that next day after my appointment, and it got cancelled again, and I had to stay another night, so it was 2 nights over 3 days for an appointment that was about...
Was it in the afternoon?
Hour? No, it was late morning.
Didn't you come this way, over this way, no? From Lochranza?
Didn't have a car.
Oh, you didn't?
Wasn't allowed to drive.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's right, you weren't allowed to drive, I remember. Yeah. There's no way you're coming around this way then. You have to have a car. Even with a car, it's quite a long journey, but you can't do it.
So that was my good start to my week off. That was expensive.
Part of island life, sadly. That's it. You chose to, and that's the thing. Choose to live here. You got to go with the restrictions of it, haven't you? Just got to go with it. Go with the flow. So, and part of that, of course, is not being able to be seen on the island. If you're on the mainland, you'd get there and you'd be half an hour and you'd be there and back again. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
But we don't have that stuff in our those kind of hospital things.
No.
So
we used to.
So that castle, Lochranza Castle, doesn't have any scaffolding on it anymore, does it?
No.
But Brodick Castle does, interestingly. I wonder if it's the same scaffolding. Because the last time I was here, Lochranza Castle was covered in scaffolding. And you couldn't get in. And now Brodick Castle is covered in it.
Is it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
You've
just
been
gone up.
running recently.
Well, I was in Brodick and actually I saw something about it as well. I don't know if
Right.
someone said it on Facebook but you could see it from across the bay. Actually, it's got a lot of scaffolding in front of the castle, so they must be doing
Not been up
quite a
there
lot of work
recently.
up there. Yeah.
Look at that sort before Easter.
Talking about driving places, I work at Claonaig, the ferry terminal, and last night, you get hungry, but it's 12-hour shifts, so you get hungry about 6 o'clock, and somebody came in with chips, and you can smell them, and somebody says, right, I'm going to go and get chips, I've got to get chips from the chippy, and the chippy is the next building to us, yes, and the person said, I'm actually so desperate for chips, I'm not even going to take the car. And I said, what do you mean you're not going to take the car? I'm just going to run straight across all the way to Chippy. Don't tell me you drive to the Chippy, right? And this is actually a fit person I was talking to. I was embarrassed them. And, sometimes I take the car. And then we were looking at each other thinking, isn't the car parked further away than the actual Chippy is? I mean, I actually had to work it out, right? Because you've got to walk across the car park to get to the car. And the Chippy's across the road. I'm not even convinced. I think the Chippy might be closer than where the car's parked, but it's certainly pretty tight. You're talking 30 yards to 40 yards or something. Take the car.
If they wanted that in-car Chippy experience, then I could understand.
Where
you take your Chippy into the car and it stinks the car out of chips and vinegar, and some folk might like it, but if you're just going to drive over, get them and bring them back and eating them in the office, then I don't get that.
That was the shortest journey I've ever heard of. I know some people I work with drive to the co-op, and
well, that's different.
Well, and even then, it's just across the road and up a couple of buildings, but literally across the road. It's funny. People just take their cars everywhere.
Well, it's like me. I stayed in South Beach, and I didn't think anything about walking from the hotel at South Beach to the pier. We're talking 15 minutes, brisk walk. And there's people that are up in breakfast in the morning that were getting taxis. And I just it doesn't even cross my mind to get a taxi for that distance.
No, it's just a different way of looking at things.
Walk.
I think. Well, it just depends how you see it. I suppose that's right, but a lot of people.
If you couldn't walk due to some.
But no, this was a fit person. The fit person was.
Fit person and taxi.
This person actually runs up mountains. To be honest, it still takes the car to Chippy.
No,
I'm just saying. And so another thing that happened a couple of days ago. I was in our staff canteen and I went for my lunch after my wee run at lunch, and so I'm there with about 4 other people and we've got a telly on the wall, and it was Gary Lineker Day, right? So he's meant to be doing the telly. This is Saturday, Sports Saturday, right? Yeah. And he's obviously not been he's been taken off air because he said something about immigrants and things that it wasn't meant to be or something according to the BBC. So he was suspended, and so what they had on instead on the telly was just somebody driving about in a van, a woman driving about, and I said to the other guys, what is this? And it says it's called night delivery. And what happens? She just drives the van about, so you're sitting in the passenger seat basically, and then this person's just driving at night and then eventually through dawn and just stopping every so often and putting a parcel in the door, and then you're just hearing the radio, and basically you're just sitting in the van, so you might as well be actually doing the deliveries because you're just sitting in the van with somebody doing deliveries. If they got the radio on, or if they cough, or if they indicate, I mean, you're aware of it. So the whole programme was just being in a delivery van. Right. And funnily enough, you write it off, and then all of us ended up just actually glued to the screen because it's ended up we're driving through the Campsies, and it was actually instant landscape. The sun was coming up, it was quite pretty and stuff, and somehow very relaxing. Right. And I surprised I was surprised, really surprised, because all of us ended up just watching this woman driving about with no other action happening. It was just it was almost like therapeutic. So this was another lesson well learned. It seems like the craziest thing to be watching on the telly. Night delivery, you can watch it if you like. If you put it on iPlayer, you find it, night delivery. I actually watched it last night just to see the whole thing, just to see what the appeal is.
Was there somebody talking to her? Like,
every so often,
right.
She says something like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to getting up. I think I'm heading with delivery, and
Right.
this is great because everyone's awake, asleep, and I'm like the silent kind of, the only person around. The roads are empty, and I'm feeling." And she's speaking very slowly and just talking about how relaxed she is and how much she just loves driving at dawn, or at last thing at night, and it is relaxing. But it was surprising because you write something off. I thought it was laughable when we started, and actually we'll end up watching it. It's that old lesson: don't knock it till you've tried it.
So yes.
So yeah, you've got to try it. You've got to try it to know one way or the other if it's worth doing. It's the same with everything in life, isn't it?
Yep.
The last thing I was going to talk about, I can't talk about much else because the boat's just arriving. Was I don't talk about having a. I get up every morning and when I go to work, I put bird food on the bird table. And I've got 4 different feeders now. I'm getting good at it, and all different types of things, and nuts and fat balls and seeds and everything. And in the morning, over the winter, maybe once a week or so, there's this little mouse looking at me from the bird table, and I think it is a mouse. It never changes in size, and it's almost like a tame mouse because I can actually touch it, like like I can put my finger right on the bird table, and it just looks at me like that, and then. Just as I start putting the seed out, it kind of runs down the wee tree trunk and then it goes. So it's like I've got my hand within a few inches of this wee thing. It's just not bothered
you
at
need
all.
to be careful with them because it might draw you into a false sense of security and
yeah,
and then just they can bite.
Might bite me, bitten to death by a mouse. They got kind of.
Anyway, on the subject.
Yes.
I mean, I've had mice in the house quite often over the years. And recently I was opening the cupboard under the sink, just kind of things in like cleaning products, blah blah, and I noticed all these chewed bits of washing detergent pouches bag, chewed bits, and then I noticed some mouse poo.
Oh right.
So I'm like I thought, oh yes, and of course the bag of pods had been chewed into my mice. I'm like, what? Why are they wanting to eat a bag that pods are in? They're not food. So obviously mouse in the house. So I've got that to deal with, and I just I have tried the humane method before, and ended up catching them in humane traps, taking them all the way down.
Not came back again.
Other side of the river, blah de blah. Well, I don't know. Folks say they do come back.
All right.
But I was like, nah, you put them over the other side of the river, how's it going to get back? But I kept doing this night after night, taking these mice down, and I'm thinking, surely they're not coming back. And I thought, what I should have done is got a wee marker pen and put a wee mark on the mouse, and then, a wee dab of paint or something.
Permanent marker.
And then if I took it down and then I caught the same one with the same mark, then I'd know.
Yeah.
But I didn't go that far.
If it was that resilient, it probably deserves its survival.
Up to the other side of rivers, and like, how is it going to cross? Maybe they swim. But yeah, so I had to give up on that because I was up all night, up and down, releasing these mice. So whether I had 20 in the house, I don't know, but I'll never know.
Maybe.
Or it's the same too.
Maybe that's the thing. You've just got to block up the hole.
Well,
that's the way.
Yeah, you can block up as many holes as.
There's the boat. I'm just going to have a look. The boat's here. Just arriving. It is MV Catriona, and it's only got a couple of cars on it by the look of it. But then, of course, this isn't a scheduled service, so a lot of people don't know about it. What have we got here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles on this side. Nice and quiet. Yeah, there's only a couple in that boat there. Just coming in nicely, lovely and calm. The door's just coming down. Eh? Oh, I don't know who's in charge there. It's going to be a nice change to get on that. It's a nice new boat as well. I don't know exactly how many years, but it's only about 4 or 5 years old or something. It's a lot newer than the Brodick one. So I think that's right, 39, round about 40. In fact, I remember looking it up, because MV Isle of Arran was built in 83 and came on in 84.
As old as you, Dave?
It's 40. and well, that's it came on service the year that I came to Arran, 84, so that's how I know how old it is actually when I think about it. So it's nearly 40 years. Yeah, there we go. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it? You left school in 84, just when our boat was built. There we go. We're lucky to be getting on that ferry today. I'll have a better look at it. A good plan. It's certainly... Oh, I did go to mainland once this year so far, but that was just to go to Aldi's to pay 22 pence for beans instead of 170. Yep. You'll be glad to know the 170 beans, by the way, Gordon, are 2 for 250, I think it was. So you can actually bypass that 170 price. I saw that last night.
Well, was it not, official figure, was it not 7.5 tins, roughly of 22 pence?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You could get for a
From
tin of
Aldi's.
Heinz.
For one in Heinz in the co-op. Beans doesn't mean Heinz.
So if you liked Heinz beans, and you got a chance to go to the mainland, you could probably get a year's supply.
A year's supply of beans. Right, I better turn this off. We're just going to the boat. We are off. We're off.
We're off.
Right. Well, here I am at Claonaig, and I just thought I'd have a look back at the mountains of Arran since I'm here. They look spectacular today. The snow-covered peaks, just amazing. The snow is going about halfway up from about halfway up to the top, and they look amazing today because it's such a clear day. I'll just scan right across them, looking back towards Lochranza. What a view! Beautiful. And of course, from where I am, I can see the ferry just waiting to depart as well at Claonaig. It's only got a couple of cars on it, so I think it's just waiting to see if anybody else comes before it goes. The wind's it's a bit more windy here than it was in Lochranza. It's nice and still, so obviously the wind's coming onshore here. Feels quite cold, but I think we'll be warm enough once we get going. Just those mountains are just incredible. What a view. Just stunning. It's lovely to see Arran from a different perspective. I don't normally get to see that. Not very often anyway, especially with the snow. Anyway, right. Here comes Gordon, ready to go. Ready for anything.
I think there's not much chance of getting too warm, Dave.
We're not going to get too warm today. No chance of sweating. Our car going for the boat. They were lucky. The boat just held off for them. Very lucky. Look at those mountains, Gordon. Absolutely spectacular, aren't they? Anyway, we'll get going, I suppose. Right, that's me, Gordon. We've just stopped for a second. It's my fault. We've only run a couple of miles. Mile and 3/4. But we've got the view of Skipness in front of us. And I think we're about to go around the corner. There's the sign in the road for Skipness in front of us. And the whole really array of houses, just about all of them, are sitting there in front of us with them all going in a lovely little line of mostly single story cottages going all the way around, and then just a bit further on the castle, and then right at the end of the point the chapel, the ruined chapel, both from around the 1300s. Well, I just thought we'd get a view of that. We can see the ferry behind us, nearly back. It's about 2/3 of the way over to Arran. We'll be trying to get this next one back. I keep holding this up, so that'll probably duff it. That'll be tight. But anyway, that's the view of Skipness. Right, better get on with the run. Okay. Right, here we are. So what are we at? Kilbrannan Point, is that right? think that's what it's called. And we're looking at the chapel, which is almost as old as the castle, which is right behind us. The chapel is a ruin in good condition, and it's got with no roof. Yes, and it's got some fancy slabs in it, like medieval slabs still in good condition, and some of the Campbell clan are buried there as well. I've read that. And the spectacular view, of course, of Arran still from here. Right.
Well, I read it was 1200. It was
1200s.
Yeah.
1200s. Right, here we go. We're at Skipness Castle. We're just going in the door. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, I'll check upstairs, see if the tower's open. I know it's got a very high tower you can go up, and we'll have a look. I think the tower's shut in the winter. We'll have a look and see if we can get a view from the top up here. Go up these old 12th century. Nah, shut. Okay, tower's shut. Oh. That's fancy. Yeah, we'll come back for that tower once it's open again, thank God, eh?
So, built in the 1200s.
Yeah.
By the McSween family.
McSween, that's right.
And you know, the most kind of amazing thing is, Lochranza Castle is built by the same family.
Oh, right. No.
McSweens. And one of the oldest castles in Scotland, which is Castle Sween, which was built by the McSweens, just opposite Jura.
Very good, Gordon.
So that's the link.